Let's go Dolphins! The Miami Dolphins are about to face one of the strangest and most crucial games of the season. We're not just playing against the Washington Commanders, we're hosting them in Madrid. That's right, Madrid. But what if I told you that this international showcase might be part of a much bigger problem within the Dolphins organization? A problem that starts with bad decisions from the front office and could silently sabotage our playoff run if things don't change, and fast. This move to Madrid is already creating tension. This game should be part of a 3-game home stretch, a chance to adapt, build rhythm, and recover for the most important phase of the season. Instead, we're crossing the Atlantic, giving up home court advantage for, what? A sponsorship deal? International publicity? Exposure? The fans deserve answers. But hold on, before we get into the details of the chaos brewing behind the scenes, be sure to like this post if you've been a Dolphins fan for more than 20 years. It's always amazing to see our loyal blue and orange family around here. And if you bleed for these colors as much as I do, leave a comment saying, "Go Dolphins!" My heart bleeds blue and orange. Now, let's get to the bombshell. Now let's talk about Washington. The Commanders are in chaos. Injuries, suspensions, and a shaky coaching situation mean this is a team spiraling. The Dolphins should roll them. But we've seen this before. Games that look like a guaranteed win somehow become a nail-biter or, worse, an embarrassing loss. And it's that unpredictability that still haunts this team. Miami needs to not only win this game, they need to dominate. Anything less, and serious questions will come up about whether they're playoff contenders or just pretenders padding their record with weak wins. One thing's for sure, Dolphins fans are fired up, and rightfully so. The blowout win against the Bills earlier was a moment of triumph that hadn't been felt in years. Not just a win, but domination. Finally beating Buffalo and doing it in style was a long time coming. It sent a message across the league that this Dolphins team is capable of elite performances. But the question remains, can they sustain it? Can they stack wins like that against quality opponents when it counts most? There's a lot of talk around the league about soft schedules. And sure, some teams are catching lucky breaks. But Miami's in a stretch where they've got to prove they're not just good, they're great. And that starts now. This Madrid matchup is a stage. Everyone's watching. How will the Dolphins respond? And while Mike McDaniel is clearly one of the more innovative minds in football right now, he's still got to deal with the mess Chris Grier left behind. Talent evaluation, roster depth, contract management, these are not strengths of Grier's. And yet, here we are, with Grier still in the building. Every win the Dolphins get is in spite of him, not because of him. Imagine what this team could do with a GM who actually understood long-term vision and roster balance. Let's dive right back into it. The Miami Dolphins face the Washington Commanders in Madrid, and while this might look like a clear mismatch on paper, there's more to this than meets the eye. First off, the Commanders are limping into this game, literally and figuratively. They're dealing with key injuries and suspensions that have significantly impacted both sides of the ball. Their depth is shot, and their morale, even worse. This is a team that's basically been written off for the season, and while that sounds like great news for Miami, it also introduces one dangerous variable, desperation. Desperate teams can be unpredictable. With nothing to lose, they play loose, they take chances, and sometimes that creates chaos. And chaos is the one thing Miami cannot afford right now. This isn't the time to get caught off guard. The Dolphins need to come in focused, aggressive, and ready to put this game away early. Because make no mistake, this isn't just about beating Washington. This is about statement wins. It's about showing the rest of the NFL that Miami can travel across the ocean, deal with the time zone changes, the travel stress, and still blow a team out. That's the kind of performance that puts fear into the minds of your opponents. That's the kind of win that screams playoff ready. And on that note, let's talk about who needs to step up. Tua Tagovailoa is having a solid season, but this is one of those games where he needs to put on a clinic. No excuses. The Commanders' defense is battered and struggling, which means there's no reason why Tua can't throw for over 300 yards and multiple touchdowns. Anything less would be underwhelming. Tyreek Hill, who has been electric all season, should feast on this secondary. He's already unguardable when healthy, and against a defense this vulnerable, the expectation isn't just a big play or two. We're talking a complete takeover. Jalen Waddle, time to go off. We need both of these guys producing like the elite duo they are. And let's not ignore the ground game. Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane, if active, must punish Washington early. Establishing the run is going to be key here, not because Miami can't win without it, but because dominating the clock and wearing down an already thin defense will break them mentally before halftime. On defense, this is a golden opportunity for Bradley Chubb and Jaylon Phillips to eat. Washington's offensive line is inconsistent at best, and if Miami brings pressure early and often, they'll force turnovers. Vic Fangio needs to let this defense loose. Don't sit back. Don't play soft coverage. This is the time to be aggressive and relentless. Make them pay for every snap. But again, this all circles back to discipline. The Dolphins have a tendency to take their foot off the gas when they're ahead. That's how teams sneak back in. This can't be one of those games. Mcdaniel needs to keep his players locked in from the first quarter to the final whistle. No silly penalties. No blown coverages. No drops. This is the time to play a complete game. We also can't ignore what's looming on the other side of this matchup, the Saints, then the bye. That means this game is the perfect tone setter. Win big, carry that energy into the next one, and then rest while the league starts to take you even more seriously. But blow this one, or worse, lose it, that opens the floodgates for every doubter to start shouting again that the Dolphins can't win when it matters. We know the narrative. Miami beats the teams they're supposed to beat but folds against tougher opponents. That's been the lingering doubt around this team all season. And while the Commanders aren't a playoff threat, blowing them out in Madrid would help change the perception that this team is only good within its comfort zone. Winning abroad, in dominating fashion, shows growth. It shows maturity. It shows the kind of focus that contenders have. Let's not forget, every other AFC playoff contender is watching. The Bills, the Ravens, the Chiefs, they all want to see if Miami trips over themselves in a game they should win. That's the pressure. But it's also the opportunity. The Dolphins can make a statement here that travels far beyond Madrid. What's really at stake in this Madrid game isn't just another win. It's the credibility of the Dolphins organization, the reputation of Mike Mcdaniel, and the lingering shadow of Chris Greer's questionable leadership. This matchup might look like a gimmick to the casual fan, just a quirky game overseas, but for us, the real ones who bleed aqua and orange, we know this game could be a defining moment in the season. Let's start with what's truly bizarre. A franchise that's clawing its way into serious playoff contention just handed away a critical home game in the back half of the season. This is the time when every inch of advantage matters. Weather, travel, routine, everything adds up. And yet, Greer and whoever else signed off on this circus thought it was a smart move to ship the team overseas and label it a home game. You can't make this up. It's the kind of decision that shows just how out of touch the front office is with what really matters, winning. And here's the thing, we're not even talking about facing a powerhouse here. We're up against a Washington team that's battered, disorganized, and falling apart. But that's exactly why this game is so dangerous. It's the classic trap. Everyone expects a blowout. Everyone assumes this will be a warm-up before the Saints game and the bye. But we've seen it before. How many times have we watched the Dolphins play down to their opponent? This team has to treat this game like a playoff preview, because the real test is how you handle the games you're supposed to win. Mike Mcdaniel, for all his brilliance, is under pressure now more than ever. His offense is explosive, creative, and when it clicks, nearly unstoppable. But if Miami comes out flat, uninspired, or distracted by the spotlight of an overseas game, the questions will start rolling in fast. Can Mcdaniel keep this team mentally sharp? Can he adjust when the unexpected happens? And most importantly, can he win the games that must be won? This is also a golden chance for Tua Tagovailoa to remind everyone that he's not just a system quarterback, he's the leader of a franchise aiming for the Super Bowl. A strong, mistake-free performance in Madrid reinforces that narrative. But a shaky game, missed throws, or bad decisions, that's all the media needs to restart the debate about whether he can handle the spotlight. Defensively, it's time for the stars to shine. Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Christian Wilkins. These are the games where they have to impose their will early and set the tone. If the Dolphins can create early pressure, force turnovers, and make the Commanders play from behind, they can turn this game into a statement. A blowout in